Hey, welcome back guys. Mike Frank with Berkshire Hathaway, Frank Oliver and Company, coming to you. And you can see we're doing some changes over here. We got some lights, we're in the back, and it makes me a little sad to not be able to see the outside, but it's kind of drab today, so I'm not really that upset about it. Speaking of drab, we're going to be talking about 6 tips to winterize your home. So we want to do a couple things in your house to protect you throughout the course of the winter. Also, there's a couple tidbits that you guys can save on your heating and electric bills. So before we run down that road, there's a couple statistics that came out last week for October home sales. So every month they release the home sales for the state of Maryland, and there's a couple statistics. Pretty much everything is up, right? Medium home sale is up, average home sale is up, number of homes sold is up, month over month, right? And it's unique because of the dynamic of the market that we have. Everybody thinks, well, the market must be crazy because there's so many buyers out there. Well, of course. But there are also sellers that are now learning to take advantage of the opportunity because they held off and they held off and they held off and they held off. And now, just like our great client, Greg and Catella, they were able to attain a higher sales price than anybody else in their community because they had such a unique property and they waited until the market was correct. So make sure that you guys talk to your real estate agent and look into the statistics of your community before you get ready to list your home. 6 things that are going to help you save some money this winter. And if not save some money, maybe prevent some problems. Of course, winterize your home. So winterizing your home doesn't just keep it warm, but something that is very, very, very basic is insulation, right? So if you haven't gone up into your attic in the last, 7 years, go and check it out. You want to make sure that maybe air hasn't moved around or a pocket has been created where there's just missing insulation. Ultra common on our home inspection reports are insulation that doesn't meet today's standards. My home, for example, I have blown in attic insulation that when I moved in was probably about this thick. And in areas it was totally missing because people had been crawling around up there and moved things around. So I got a big bundle of insulation over here and I got nothing over here. What I did was I went back and I spread it around. I took up some batt insulation and laid it really simply. It's something that you could do by yourself, of course, cover because it's itchy up there, but insulate your house. It's going to keep your heating bill down, it's going to keep your air conditioning down in the summer, but it's just something that we don't think about because it's this sight unseen up there in the deep, dark, and crawly attic. Right? Insulating your attic is a huge point, but also seal your leaks, right? If you go through your basement, you'll notice that there's fine cracks in your foundation. There's going to be cracks around water pipes, around gas pipes. You want to make sure that you seal them. Go to Home Depot and get a can of plumber's putty. It costs $4. It's like putty, like kind of Play-Doh sort of texture, and it's always pliable, so you could just push it into those cracks to prevent airflow from coming in. Another thing that you guys want to prevent from coming in those same tiny little holes is the rodents. As it gets cooler outside, they look for their new home and they crawl inside your home and they make it into their new little nest. Definitely don't want that. Of course, we want to get gasket covers and plumbing fixture covers. You want to secure down the outside of your home just like you do everything else. While you're securing, you might want to cover your air conditioning unit so that you don't get leaves and mice and all the things inside of your air conditioner that can tear it apart. Right? We also want to insulate our pipes. This is something that a lot of people don't think about. It's something that people don't think about, unfortunately, until it's too late. I walked into my bedroom, well, let's see, it was probably about 12 years ago. I walked into my bedroom, I was just in my socks, and I walk in and I go squish, and my socks are soaking wet, and my carpet is soaking wet, and it doesn't look like anything, but there's a teeny tiny little hole in the pipe going to the outside right by my bedroom window that had just burst in the cool weather. And all of a sudden, that teeny tiny little hole flooded my entire bedroom, started to flood our entire basement, and it was a huge, huge pain in the butt. So when you have the opportunity, winterizing your pipes and certainly insulating them along the way is a big thing that can save you tons of agony. This cooler weather starts to make changes into our spaces. And something a lot of people don't think about is sealing caulk around the windows. Year over year over year, that caulk dries out, it gets crusty, it cracks, and all of a sudden it creates a problem. It creates an opportunity for moisture to penetrate. So you guys want to get in there with maybe a handyman or maybe yourself, cut out the old caulk and run a line of caulk fresh and new. All it takes is a line of caulk, squeeze, 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 and then just a little finger is going to caulk your windows and give them a nice solid seal for the winter. It's going to prevent air, it's going to prevent moisture, it's going to prevent the cool air from escaping your home that you guys are spending so much money to retain. Speaking of spending money and air, now is the time that you change your furnace filter. If you haven't done it in the last, 7 years, now's a good time. Sometimes you want to get in there and figure out what type of filter you want or what type of filter you need. You should be changing your filter every 1 month according to your HVAC company, but at a minimum, quarterly, or 6 months at a worst case scenario. Make sure you get in there and change your furnace filter. It's going to allow it to run more effectively, it's going to allow it to run more cleanly, and you're going to save money in the process. While we're inside, outside cleaning and maintaining, there's two big things that always come down to the last second, and that's gutters and water. Right? So clean your gutters. I'm planning on getting up there again for a second time this weekend to clean the gutters. Make sure that they're functional. Make sure that there's nothing living in there and there's no cracked fascia board behind it. We want to make sure that that ledger board, those fascia boards are in good, maintained condition. And if not, we want to get out there and seal them, coat them, paint them, prevent moisture intrusion. And this is like your 6-month housing checkup. While you're at it, maybe hire a professional. Every 6 months, bring in a plumber just to evaluate and check your water heater, flush it out and clean the system. Maybe bring in a handyman contractor to help you with these ceilings and these insulation, attic concerns. A handyman can be a great asset to your home repair toolkit. And keep yourself in mind that it's not just that when something breaks you need someone. What if you had a good relationship with somebody that you used on a routine basis? Call your HVAC company, have them check it out. Call your contractor. And if you don't have somebody, ask us. We've got tons of people, and we'd love to give you a great recommendation. Now is the time that you guys should be protecting your home in these winter months so you can get ready to sell your home in the spring. Look forward to talking to you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for weekly content. Also, check out our social media pages. The links are in the description below. See you next week.